Hey everybody, we've got a new limited time series featuring the brand new Lambo Essenza SCV12. Alright, so this one is gonna run through the 3rd of February, so basically about a week, a full week, this series is going to run. And for the completing the 15 tiers, you will win, of course, the car itself, plus 100 gold and 350,000 racing dollars, as you see on this splash screen. And the PR requirement, they say it's gonna be 84. So let's jump in and find out if it really is. So here we go, Lamborghini Essenza SCV12 Championship. Earn a 2020 Lamborghini Essenza SCV12 by 100% completing the special limited time series, an exclusive 1 of 40 hypercar developed for the track by Lamborghini Squadra Corse. All right. Got that signature wedge shape, right? Like, it's a Lambo. What can you say? All right, so here's the breakdown of the 100 gold reward. As you can see, most of it is on that final 25%, 50 gold. Look at that. First 25 gets you 10 gold. Halfway through, 50% gets you 15 gold, and 75% gets you 25. And then, the remaining 50 is going to be all at the end. All right, and in terms of the cost of the car, it is worth 750 gold if you're to buy it outright. And considering, at least as of right now, this car is only featured in a single bonus series, and it's a single car series, so there's not going to be a showcase discount offer to really take advantage of, because if you don't own the car, you're not going to be able to run in the series. So even though the series itself will most likely have a showcase tier, anyway. So let's unlock the 15 tiers, right? Unlock the whole thing with the gold, and we'll check out, like, confirm the actual PR requirement and whatnot, upgrade cost. All right, so there's the bonus series. The winning or completing the bonus series the limited time series will unlock. You will find the series under elite section of the road collection, and for 100% completing the bonus series, there's another 73 gold to be won. So something to keep in mind, but you obviously will need higher PR to do that than completing this limited time series. So more upgrades, and generally the amount that you have to spend is not worthwhile. For dollar per dollar, if you will, the gold per gold, right? Anyway, as you can see, there is going to be a 3-hour instant service and instant R&D on racing dollar upgrade offer. So if you can complete the whole limited time series in the first 3 hours, then hey, more power to you. Considering generally most cup races take longer to do it, remember the timer. I know this is going to be very minuscule difference in grand scheme of things, but if you really want to take full advantage of the 3-hour offer, then it might be worthwhile considering starting with the cup event at the beginning, because that's generally the longest event in each tier. So that way, because the 3-hour instant R&D and service starts at the end of that completion of that series. So if the first race you run is the longer one, then obviously you got that one out of the way prior to triggering the instant offer, if that makes sense. But as I said, tier 1 events are always very short, like Cup at Suzuka East, for example. It's 2 laps, but it's not gonna take that much time. And the first endurance event probably wouldn't take that long either. And a full lap of Silverstone Grand Prix head-to-head, I feel like will take about the same time, if not longer than the Cup 2 laps around Suzuka East. But so maybe that's, what? I think that's going to be kind of a moot point for tier 1. So what? It's all good. Just start with whatever you want. But more importantly, let's check out and confirm the final tier 15. See if the PR requirement is indeed 84. And look at that. What do you know? It is 84. So 3-lapper Monza road course Cup at the end. All right, so base PR is 69.3 for this Lambo. So let's find out how many upgrades we're gonna need to reach the 84. Typically, it's essentially 3 upgrades across the board. So we've got 28 total upgrades. And look at that. Is engine really the only category that has 5 upgrades? And everything else, well, exhaust has only 3, but everything else has 4 tiers or stages of upgrades available, which means there's gonna be those tier 4 upgrades, the even number upgrades, right, are going to be the gold ones most likely, which means they are making this very expensive to upgrade. Man. Anyway, so let's start with the tier 1, which I'd assume is going to be all racing dollar upgrades. So engine, we got 91,400. Brings the PR up to 70.1. And then next category, there we go. It took a while to get back on. And then Drivetrain, 85,000 racing dollars. I believe these are 12-hour R&D if you are not running with the instant R&D. By the way, when you start the event, when you first check into the upgrade screen, you're not going to see the instant R&D offer. So don't get these upgrades right away. Remember, the instant offer gets triggered upon completing the first race. So make sure you wait till you complete your first race and then get all the necessary upgrades. That would be probably the better way to go. So yeah, so that way you don't have to wait 12 hours, because obviously by then the instant R&D offer will be expired, and it'd be sad. You know what I mean? So don't go there. All right, so let's get the Drivetrain, which will pump up my PR up to 70.8, and does unlock the tier 2, which is, as I expected, gold upgrade. And the next category, body, we got 67,500 racing dollars. Brings the PR up to 71.5. All right. Next category, we got suspension, 78,000 even. Brings PR up to 72.2. 0.7 PR point boost there. And the next category, fairly comparable, it's going to be the exhaust, 77,100 racing dollars, brings a PR up to 73.8 PR point boost. That's a good one. But unfortunately, there are going to be only 3 tiers for that one. Brakes, always the cheapest one, 59,600 racing dollars, brings a PR up to 73.6. And then the final category, tires and wheels, 71,500 racing dollars, brings PR up to 74.2. All right, and so far all the tier 2 upgrades that get unlocked are all gold. So that means your racing dollar only upgrades will bring your PR up to 74.2. So let's see. And the cost is 530,100 racing dollars. So not as expensive as some other cars that we've had to put upgrades on to get through. Now, so 74.2. That's fine. Obviously, that cannot get you very far, but the important thing is the tier 4 cup. What's the PR requirement there? 74.4. So we're 0.2 PR points shy of being able to get completing the tier 4, which is the 25% completion tier. So basically, that I just wanted to confirm that if you cannot afford the full upgrade, would you be able to pick up any gold at all? Answer is no. So yeah, because no upgrades are gonna be like 10 gold, which is what you would get for 25% completion, right? So that's not gonna happen in this series. So anyway, let's get back to the final tier and see if we can put some upgrades on. Time to spend some gold. All right, 90 gold for engine brings PR up to 75 and does unlock the tier 3, which is going to be a racing dollars. And then drivetrain, 80 gold, and that's a nice 0.8 PR point boost. Also unlocks the tier 3 racing dollar upgrade. And the next category is body, 65 gold, brings PR up to 76.4. And suspension, 75 gold, brings PR up to 77.1. And exhaust, another 75 gold upgrade, brings PR up to 77.9. And the brakes, 55 gold, brings PR up to 78.5. And the tires and wheels, 70 gold, brings PR up to 79.2. All right, so that is tier 2 upgrades across the board, 14 upgrades, with some, oh gosh, 510 gold. Yikes, that is a bit on a more expensive side. This car's very expensive for gold, isn't it? I guess we do get 100 of it back, so net cost would be 410. But still, for elite class car, I feel like that is a little bit pricier than what I'm used to seeing. So anyway, yeah, and obviously we're not quite there yet up to the PR requirement of 84, but considering that the PR boost that we got for tier 1, the racing dollar upgrade, was 4.9 PR point boost, and the tier 2 we got 5 point PR point boost. So tier 3 all racing dollar upgrades is certainly within the range of getting us to meet the PR requirements. So let's go ahead, starting with engine. 205,600 racing dollars brings PR up to 79.9, and without instant R&D, this will be 1 day R&D time. So yeah, it just makes the event drag on longer, you know what I mean? So if you can afford it, definitely try to get them done right away. And if you cannot afford it right away, wait. I would say farm, earn your currency. Once you get enough to be able to afford, then go ahead and get them all at once. It's just less frustrating that way, you know what I mean? So you can run through the rest of the limited time series in a one fell swoop. Right. Did I say soup? I meant swoop. Alright, anyway. Drivetrain Tier 3 is going to be 191,300 racing dollars. Brings PR up to 80.7. And then the body, 152,000 more racing dollars. Brings PR up to 81.3. Suspension, 175,400 racing dollars. Brings PR up to 82. And exhaust is going to be the next category, which there are only 3 tiers for this category, so this is going to be the last upgrade you can get here in this category. 173,400 racing dollars brings PR up to 82.9. That's almost a whole point boost. Nice. And then the next category, brakes, 134,100 racing dollars brings PR up to 83.4. So yep, we're within that striking distance of meeting the PR requirement. Final category, tires and wheels, and that'll do it for 160,900 racing dollars. Brings the PR just above the required number, up to 84.1. So that is additional. The tier 3 upgrades, that was the additional 1,192,700 racing dollars to meet the PR requirements. So total cost is going to be obviously 510 gold, 100 of which you do get back, and the racing dollars 1,722,800. Yeah, racing dollars. Right. So there's that. And yeah, so let's see. We got the specs of the upgrade status here all done, cost all done. And I guess we'll just kind of check out the series itself. And let's look at some specs. Look at that grip, 1.76G. This car is going to be very, very grippy, especially once you get the PR requirement met. Top speed, 330 kph. Acceleration, 2.42. And the braking distance of 25.4 meters. So this is going to be a very, very nimble car. I mean, up till now, I would say the best Lambo, in my opinion, is the Hurricane Performante. And I know that car is kind of underrated in terms of its performance in the game, at least the way the specs look. But when you, like, every time when that car is included as the weekly time trial car, yeah, that car usually comes out on top. And another good Lambo would be Sesto Elemento. Those two are my top 2 Lambos in the game. And at least just by telling from the specs, this car might give them a good run for their money. So, of course, the other 2 cars significantly more affordable than this one. So what does that say? I don't know. Anyway, this limited time series, we're going to be starting out with, Tier 1. You got endurance at the Circuit of the Americas National Circuit. Generally, Tier 1 very first race without any bot training. You typically have to run about 5 kilometers, I think. Somewhere around there. And we got head-to-head at Silverstone Grand Prix, single lapper. And then the Cup, as we checked out earlier on in this video, is going to be at Suzuka East, 2 laps. Of course, Tier 1, there is no PR requirement. Alright, so moving on. Tier 2, we got Speed Snap at Dubai National. And then we got Autocross at Suzuka West. Getting a lot of Suzuka early on. And then Cup for Tier 2 is going to be at properly named now WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca. It's the the old Mazda Raceway. They renamed it because the sponsorship for the circuit, Mazda backed out of it. I want to say like around 2018. So the name should have been updated then, but they never bothered. And finally, they got around to it. So, hooray! All right, so it's a single lap cup. Just a 72 PR point needed. So obviously it's higher than base PR, but you don't need any gold at least. So that's something. All right, moving on. Tier 3, we got a drag race. Does it matter where? Maybe tiny bit. When you're racing all same cars, I don't think it really makes that much difference. Anyway, it's going to be at the Circuit of the Americas Grand Prix circuit. We got Elimination at Silverstone, the classic bridge Grand Prix. So you need to survive for 2 minutes 20 seconds. And the Cup to conclude Tier 3 at Porsche Test Track, long on-road circuit, just a single lapper with a PR requirement of 73.3. All right, continuing on the Tier 4, the 25% completion tier. You got Speed Snap at Indianapolis Motor Speedway Road Course, head-to-head at Hockenheim Grand Prix, a full single lap at nighttime, and then Cup at, another Cup at the Leipzig Porsche Test Track long on-road circuit. I mean, different time of the day, but really? Is that going to be a single lap too? No, this time you have to do 2 laps. PR 74.4 required, and that kind of makes it not as exciting. Returning to the same circuit for 2 different cups. Why didn't they just make it 3-lap cup at in a single stage and let us race in a different circuit? Lacking creativity there. I sometimes wonder if these are just like automatically generated by a machine. Probably. But yeah, I don't know. Anyway, moving on. We got Tier 5 drag race. The Catalunya Circuit Grand Prix. Once again, it's a drag race. Does it matter? I don't think so. But that's my opinion. And we got Autocross at Spa. With this car, how long would it take? 25 seconds? Definitely under 30 seconds. And then we got a Cup as Silverstone National. 2 laps, PR 75.2 required. Alright, Tier 6, we got Speed Snap at Red Bull Ring Grand Prix, Endurance at Suzuka East, and the Cup at Bugatti Circuit. 2 laps, 76.3 is the PR requirement. Moving on, Tier 7, we got another drag race. We're getting a lot of drag races in this limited time series. What's with that? I feel like drag race is... I mean, if I want to play that many drag races, there's a different game that specializes in that event. But yeah, we're not going to go there. This one's going to be at the Brickyard. Oh no, it's going to be at the Monza road course. And we got Autocross, and that one's going to be at the Brickyard, Indianapolis Motor Speedway road course. And finally, the Cup for Tier 7 at Catalunya Grand Prix. 2 laps, PR 77.2 is what's required. Continuing on, Tier 8, the 50% completion tier, where you need 2 gold trophies on this tier to claim that. What was the reward again? 15 gold. Right. Alright, so you got Speed Snap at Laguna Seca, Hunter at Suzuka West, and we're getting a lot of Suzuka events too. And then, oh, look at that, a new circuit to race on in terms of this event, Mount Panorama Cup. Just a single lap, PR 78 required. All right, moving on. Tier 9, we got head-to-head at Circuit of the Americas Grand Prix circuit. single lap as you would expect, autocross at Melbourne, and the Cup, and lots of night races. Like anywhere the night race is available, they're pretty much having us race at nighttime. All German circuits, right? Hockenheim and Leipzig, Porsche Test Track, and the Nürburgring. Yeah, Tier 9 is going to be at the Nürburgring Sprint Circuit. 3 laps, PR 78.8 is what's required. Moving on to Tier 10, we got Speed Snap at Bugatti Circuit. Also nighttime. Yeah, the earlier Cup race at Bugatti Circuit was also night race. Not a big fan of night race. Although Singapore, oddly enough, nighttime I think is easier to race in. At least I find it easier to know where to go. And then we got endurance at Hockenheim National. So obviously your distance, your target will vary depending on how much you win prior races by, right? The bot training. And then the Cup for Tier 10 is going to be at Spa. 2 laps, PR 79.6 is required. Continuing on to Tier 11, we got Hunter at Silverstone National. Another drag race. This one at Porsche Test Track. Telling you, this event I feel like is half drag race and half at Porsche Test Track. They really want us to race there. I normally like that track, just so you know. But, you know, for a 15-tier limited time series, that's a lot. And the same track and same kind of event. It's a little disappointing. Anyway, Tier 11 Cup is going to be at Melbourne. 5 laps, PR 80.4 is required, and that gets us to the 75% completion tier, tier 12. You need a single gold trophy to claim that, and that is, of course, 25 extra gold. All right, you got Speed Snap at Circuit of the Americas Grand Prix Circuit, Autocross at Daytona Road Course, and I think it's the first event for this car at Daytona. I don't really like that circuit, but boy, am I glad to hear a different track introduced in this limited time series. My goodness. I feel like we got a lot of Leipzig circuit, a lot of German circuits, and then Circuit of the Americas, they've been throwing that in here a lot too. And mind you, I like the circuit. But I just don't want every tier to have that. That's not what I want. I like variety, you know, as I'm sure many of you guys do as well. All right, so, and moving on, we got the Tier 12 Cup at Catalunya National. 4 laps, PR 81.3 required. That's a pretty fun circuit, Catalunya National. I find it a lot more fun than the Grand Prix circuit, but yeah. Tier 13, we got Speed Record at Suzuka Grand Prix, Hunter at the Brickyard Road Course, and then Cup at Dubai National Circuit. 4 laps, PR 82.1 required. That's a good one. I like Dubai National as well. And then Tier 14, we got Endurance, guess where? Porsche Test Track long on-road circuit. My goodness. And then we got Elimination at, guess where? Laguna Seca. And then, oh look, this is the second race we get to do at Daytona. It's going to be a Cup this time. Road course, 2 laps, PR 83 required. How about a Speedway for a change? No? And then finally, Tier 15, we got Autocross at Bugatti Circuit, Speed Record at Red Bull Ring Grand Prix. All right. We didn't have a whole lot at Red Bull Ring, did we now? And then the Cup at the final Cup is going to be at Monza Road Course, of course, with a PR 84 required. 3 laps, right. But we've already talked about that earlier. So anyway, so yeah, there you go. Hopefully you found the information useful in figuring out whether you want to tackle the series, whether you can afford it, all that stuff. So you can find all the relevant information for the cost and whatnot in the description box of this video below. So feel free to check them out, and that will do it for this video. So thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.